song is for change, as we're looking forward to the new Gambia, peace, progress, and prosperity, our home began.
Greetings to the citizens of the Republic of the Gambia. Greetings to the citizens of the Sister Republic of Senegal. Greetings to the citizens of the respective ECOWAS member states. Greetings to the citizens of the entire continent of Africa. The same greetings are being extended to other people, societies, regions, groups, families, individuals, institutions, be they states or other organizations, who have taken the decision to stand up against tyranny, terrorism, oppression, repression, domination, isolation, segregation, injustice, and the abuse of human rights, wherever it is taking place on earth. On our session today, this is your brother Essa Bokarr on a flash updates we have just been received. The topic is this: scorched earth war tactics in administration, not military, from Yahya Jammeh's government. Come Carter. Gambians home and abroad, of course including the coalition team, should not expect coffers loaded with attractive amounts when Yahya Jammeh steps aside. Neither should anybody base your hope on wishful thinking, because that will only usher you into lost illusions and a bottomless pit of regrets. To that effect, we should not expect healthy bank accounts from central bank. Just to name a few: Guaranty Trust Bank, and also the other banks that are affiliated or associated with State House. Definitely, we shouldn't expect the same from the Gambia Revenue Authority, and then ministries and embassies, or something close to that. I mean, decent financial standing when a new team takes over. Well, Trust Bank Limited, of course, cannot be excluded from this list. Neither should anyone think about excluding Standard Chartered Bank. Well, we'll proceed to other areas, which is current government workers should not be cleansed through euphoria or where they pledge allegiance with flowery language. Although reconciliation is wonderful, it should definitely be preceded by truth, or at best establish facts surrounding one's activities, especially during the dying moments of the incumbent. Ministries or ministers, permanent secretaries or departments or heads of departments, heads of parastatals, just to name one out of them, men like Sergeant at the Gambia Ports Authority, alongside being warned to avoid looting in courts through vouchers or so-called administrative procedures. They are equally being warned to avoid capital flight or replacing ownership of government property with their own names or names of their kin or close confidants. The outgoing government's diplomats, especially those abroad, are also being warned that professionals who are definitely trained in their fields, especially on areas like anti-money laundering and or forensic auditors, have been alerted to focus on them. It is not whether one is appointed or included in the coalition that you should stand up to defend your country's interest. That is a paramount duty of any citizen. Submitting verbal pledges or disseminating those or circulating them, whether they are verbal or written ones, just to show allegiance in courts to the coalition team, well, that is one's prerogative. You did it at will. Nobody is forced to do so. But that would not stop professionals from pursuing crimes like capital flight, concealing government funds or properties. Doing so and then turn around acting loyal will be more harmful than remaining loyal to the incumbent till the last second. Let me repeat that part. Committing crimes like money laundering, capital flight, or other activities that are related to serious economic crimes because the outgoing government is about to leave and then one wants to gather as much money as you can during this period, is worse than siding with Yahya Jammeh until the end or until the last minute. Those who are outspoken when it comes to remaining loyal to Yahya are easier to judge because we know where they stand, or situate than those using niceties while covering administrative in courts or economic crimes during this commotion. Which is why I keep repeating, understanding one's operational environment or remaining stable during commotion qualifies a party of being a stable fight or a good fight. Is it about euphoria? Or is it about using flowery language to cover crimes? But simply because you're praising, then you will be excluded? No. Let me reiterate this point, as I used to do, as you said before. I don't owe allegiance to any political party, any leadership. I owe allegiance to the Republic. And I believe that is the principle found in many, particularly some members of the coalition. To that effect, one should not base your activities on being so political or associated with any new regime or an old one. What you should do is to serve the Republic. A case in point is before December 9th, 2016. Chief of Defense Staff Usman Baji said he was loyal to Barrow and team as the choice of the Gambians, right? Soon after Yahya Jammeh's speech on the 9th of December 2016, which is when he refused to recognize the results, a total blackout happened in the Greater Banjul area. Human intelligence revealed that the regime had access to coffers at the central bank. That reminds us of what President Reagan said, trust but verify. We will trust that the regime remains responsible, but we will verify. To that effect, those lights were switched off and theft occurred. That said, soon after this speech, Serious Usman Badi switched in a very shameless way for that matter. Yahya and team knew what took place at the central bank. History repeats itself. This happened during the early days of the Armed Forces Provisional Ruling Council too. Lest we want to forget what caused the death or the deaths of people like Usman Koro, Sise Sadibu Haidara, just to name a few. Other criminal activities were committed during this blackout and afterwards. State House, according to reliable sources derived from human intelligence, recruited some individuals to pose as fishermen. They were each paid 2,500 euros cash, being money they would use to accomplish a mission. What is their mission? They are spying on the Senegalese army, especially the Navy. The money they were paid with and are still being paid with is from banks within the local area, particularly Greater Banjul area. These banks the regime accessed without any paper trail left behind. I am sending this alarm out to each and every Gambian that Yahya Jammeh and team are using the scorched earth war tactic to financially cripple any future government, to be more precise, during its first 100 days in power. Mark this in your diaries and wait. Without knowing how the invisible structure of the current regime works, in fact, not only the current regime, but any regime whose activities are questionable, the new team or any new team that takes over from such regimes may be taken by surprise, particularly if they want to rely on hypotheses derived from so-called expertise. Security or intelligence gathering is not the same as academia based on research and then stop at analytics. Remember, research itself remains hypothetical until facts are established. That is why it is called research. Aggressive salespersons in the outside world is part of the package, if not the best part of it. We have to sell the Gambia's potentials. Professionals who had volunteered to pose with this side of Jammeh's invisible structure were able to discover why the incumbent refused to continue working with the coalition team via Balog Jahumpa and team from day one. State House chose to avoid exchanging notes with the transition team that was assigned by Team Barrow to ensure a smooth transfer of power for obvious reasons. Neither would State House have ever entertained working with President-elect Barrow's shadow government. State House's invisible structure had another agenda, which I believe has so far been proven beyond all reasonable doubts. Thank you very much. This is your brother Essa Bokarr say. We are going to end it here, and then we'll come back to do the translations in our local language. Thank you. Now we proceed with Pabo Bojobate.